and welcome to Wedding Secrets with me, Claire. Here at Wedding Secrets, we create beautifully bespoke videos for you at home, especially helping on your big wedding day. But why Wedding Secrets? Well, the team here at Wedding Secrets have expert advice in photography, flowers, planning, music, food. If it's wedding related, you name it, we know it. So what we are doing with these videos is giving you the chance at home to sit down, join our video, and maybe you might pick up some expert tips to help your day run as smooth as possible. Because at Wedding Secrets, we want to help you have the perfect day. Now, today's video is definitely one you don't want to miss. We're going to be revealing to you at home our top 19 hacks on your wedding. Now, it's for before your wedding, during your wedding, and after your wedding. So the way this video is going to work, we're going to move through each section to give you a few different tips. What we want you at home to do is have your notepad, have your pen ready, jot down any of these expert industry knowledge points, because these just might help you on your big day. And after your wedding, you'll be thanking Wedding Secrets, because maybe some of these hacks you've just not thought about. And one thing I can absolutely assure you is these tips will make your day run as smooth as possible, which when getting married, we all need, don't we? So our first tip, this one is a very, very important one. Now, whether you are in America, whether you're over in Canada, whether you're here in the UK, it does not matter. This one can apply to everybody. When you are popping on your perfume, make sure it's a perfume with some mosquito or fly repellent in, especially if you're having an outdoor wedding. I promise you, those pesky flies, those pesky mosquitoes will come and find you. So, number 2. One thing that many brides do express, and grooms, when it comes to sending out invites and save the dates, you could be licking up to 100 envelopes. Save yourself some hassle and save yourself from paper cuts. Invest in a really simple sticker, just so you can press those invitations, those RSVPs, all of those save the dates so much quicker. And I promise you, you'll be thanking us, especially when you're sat down at the table creating all of your invites. Number 3, really important, especially for outdoor weddings. Heel attachments. Now, what they are, they're a tiny attachment you can pop onto the bottom of your heel. And the reason being, whether you are having an outdoor wedding or an indoor wedding, your photographer is going to want to get pictures of you outside. The second your heels go on the grass, it's going to start to stick and sink into the ground. Heel attachments will just help it be that little bit smoother, and trust me, it will make the day run so much smoother than having to pick your legs out of the grass. Right, number 4. If you are having an outdoor wedding, or perhaps in a conservatory, which is really, really hot, a really nice idea for your wedding on the day, on your actual wedding programs, and you might have seen it before, when you're at a hot ceremony, people tend to use their programs as fans. Why not get popsicle sticks or ice lolly sticks? And what you can do, if you insert a little hole, a little slit into them, the program can be attached, and therefore you can make your programs into fans. It's such a simple hack, but it'll save you a fortune because you don't have to spend that much money on popsicle sticks, and you get to eat lots of popsicles. And it just shows to your guests that you are really considerate and you understand we are in hot temperatures and you've thought about them. Now, this comes really nicely onto my top 5 hacks, especially especially for those summer weddings. If you are having a buffet or a cake stand or a cake display, especially in summer, there are going to be flies everywhere and you do not want them anywhere near your food. Invest in glass containers, glass domes that you can store the food under. It doesn't cost too much money, and I promise you, it makes the food so much more appealing. And if you are going to buy them, I promise you, you will use them again throughout life, so it's not wasted money. Okay, number 6. This one is for our brides, but this could be really handy for grooms as well. When we look at a wedding shoe, when you look at the very front of the shoe, underneath, now on a new shoe, they're not worn, so they can be very, very slippy. Wear your shoes down. Now, the best way to do this is pop them on and just stand outside and give them a really good rub. You almost need to scuff the bottom of the shoe. By scuffing it, it's giving the shoe a grip. Because the last thing you want on your big day is walking across the dance floor and whoop, that's not what we want at all. Right, our next tip is of course number 7. One thing that can take a lot of time, now this is after the wedding, is when it comes to sending out thank you notes. It's a lot of time and it's a lot of sauce and addresses. So why not at your wedding have a pile of postcards and ask people to write down their addresses on them. Therefore, you've already got them all ready, and what you can do is after the wedding, send them a little thank you, or have your thank you notes there on the day at the wedding. So the couples and people at the wedding can take them away with them right there and then. You don't have that added cost of postage stamps and times. It's all there and it's all done for you. Now, my next tip, which is number 8, this one will absolutely save your day, especially those brides that like their lipstick, especially in red. Best thing to do is you will have your makeup bag with you on your wedding, but why not take a spare lipstick in the same shade and put it where you're sitting at the wedding. Just stash it somewhere, pop it onto your napkin, pop it next to your flowers, wherever you're going to be sat at the wedding. So as soon as all the food's done, you can just pop on a little bit of lipstick and it just gives it that refresh. Because one thing I've noticed with brides, out of their makeup, the first thing to start disappearing and losing colour is the lip area. Right, number 9. This one is just really important in making you as comfy as you possibly can be. A few days before your wedding, try your best to avoid dairy. This is milk, butter, and the reason being is dairy is prone to bloat us, and you don't want that bloated feeling on your wedding. So a really good tip is, if you can, just avoid it as much as possible. Look for different alternatives. Oat milk, for example. Right, number 10. This is a good one. When you are taking pictures at your wedding, I guarantee if you've got a veil, it's going to be blowing everywhere. If you add little magnets, like little weights almost, to your veil, it just keeps it flat, it just keeps it where it's supposed to be. So it's something really small, but in the grand scheme of things, it'll just help your pictures come out as perfect as possible. Okay, number 11. This is something you might not have considered. For your ceremony, do you need chairs? Well, sometimes some venues don't have that, especially if you're having maybe an outdoor wedding. Before looking into chair hire for weddings, which can be extremely expensive, why not look at local businesses? So for example, funeral parlours, schools. See if you can rent chairs from more of a local area, village halls, places like that, because the prices will be a lot cheaper, I can absolutely assure you. Right, number 12, wedding music. If you're looking to save a few pennies, this is a really good one. When it comes to having the luxury of having music all the way through your day, maybe your budget can allow for that. However, if your budget is tight, the best way to use your budget on music is at the end. So for the party, that's where you want it. But in order to save money throughout the day, see if your venue, see if your ceremony has an option where you can plug your music device. Because if you've got your own playlist that can just be slotted into theirs, your device, you will save a lot of money, I promise you, within the hundreds, even more so for some artists. So while we're on the topic of saving money, my next hack is number 13. Table centerpieces. I have worked with many brides who have had an incredible budget for table pieces, and that's absolutely wonderful, but we don't all have that privilege of having a big budget. So why not get creative and enjoy thrift shopping? Look in thrift stores, charity stores, antiques markets, car boot sales, and instead of going for the more traditional centerpieces, mix and match. Get yourself some really cool vases. And what this is really going to help with is florists at weddings. If they're doing your centerpieces, they will also charge for what the flower is coming in, whether they are providing the actual vase themselves. Save yourself hundreds of thousands of pounds in just creating your own vases and letting the florist dress those vases with their flowers. It's a great hack. And you know what? Even if you're not interested in money hacks, it's a really nice experience to add your own touches into a wedding. Right, number 14, food options, especially again if you're trying to save a few pennies here and there. Food trucks are fabulous and I cannot recommend them enough. It's not for everybody, or you might think, no, I want my sit-down meal, but it could be a good option for after, for your evening guests. To save the hassle of the buffet, if you've got a small venue, you've not got much size, a food truck arrives outside your venue and serves outside the venue. But of course, your guests will bring the food into the venue. It's brilliant. Also, look into the area. So for example, if you're getting married in, let's say, Cornwall, there will be local ones. So go local, save yourself some money. Right, hack number 15. Now, when it comes to wedding dresses, lots of brides want to keep their wedding dresses. But why not rent? Maybe not for the bride, but bridesmaids, for your best men. Look at renting a dress. I was a bridesmaid a few years ago and my dress was rented as well, and it was absolutely perfect, and it saved us around £200 per dress, and there were 7 bridesmaids, so I'll let you do the maths on that one. Now my next one, oh yes, of course, this one is absolutely key, coming in at number 16, stamps. When it comes to handwriting all of these different cards, yes, they are lovely, but big time saver, you and your partner, why not get a personalised stamp made? I've seen them going for as cheap as £20 online, and your stamp just says, thank you very much for coming to our wedding, lots of love, Trisha and John. It's just a really nice little personal touch, and you can keep it forever, and it saves you a lot of time. Right, hack number 7, your photographer. This is, as you will know, so I'm sure you've already been doing your own research, photographers can be very expensive. So ask yourself, do you need your photographer for the whole day? If not, then why not just have them at the ceremony? And then in the afternoon, really encourage your guests to take as many pictures as you can. Now I'm sure you all have in your family that member of the family, maybe an uncle or a friend who loves photography. Why not give them a go at doing it for the afternoon? But use your photographer for your ceremony pictures, those real classics that you're gonna look at in years to come. And hack number 18, wedding cake. Have the cake that you really, really want. Your dream flavour, your dream design, but have it made a bit smaller and have that as the cake that you cut with your partner. That's your wedding cake. Then, back in the caterers, why not have a large, pre-ready to go sheet cake? You must have seen a sheet cake. It's like a tray bake, just a very simple, nice big cake that's already sliced and ready to go to your guests. That way, your own wedding cake you can take home and you can enjoy. Because I promise you, whether it's a fancy cake or a tray cake, guests are just happy to have a piece of cake. Right, my final tip of this video is number 19. And this one is a really, really important one. RSVP numbers. Let's say if you had 50 people RSVP and say yes to your wedding. That's great. You now know how many you need to cater for, how many on your seating plan, and how many people at your ceremony. One thing we do know with weddings, being the wedding industry experts, up to 20% of people can be a no-show on the day. Lots of reasons such as work commitments, holidays, sickness and illness, especially through the recent years that we've had. So one thing we do urge, no matter if they're no-shows or not, ensure that you have a seat and a meal for every single RSVP, because the last thing you want on your big day is a family member or a friend arrive and you're scrambling to find a seat, you're scrambling to find food. Don't put yourself in that situation. Make life as easy as possible and just ensure every guest has everything there ready for them. Now, I do feel like I've given you some really good expert hacks there, and I hope that you can use some of them on your big day. If you do, give us a message, let us know how all your planning is going. Don't forget, like, subscribe our page, have a look on our website, Wedding Secrets, and also jump onto some of our other videos. We cover dresses, makeup, hair, shoes, anxiety, stress, venues, decor. I could go on all day. So I'll look forward to seeing you on our next video.